Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to discuss the 8 key dimensions due to which I think that Solana is going to perform extremely well in this bull run as an investment. And on the basis of that, we will gauge its viability as an investment, and we will also make a price prediction based on that information. Before we go ahead, I must make it clear that I am not a financial advisor, and the information presented in this video is not a financial advice. You must do your own research before investing in this very risky and very volatile market. So here are the 8 key dimensions along which we are going to explore Solana. Number 1, team. Number 2, social media presence. Number 3, the problem solved by Solana. Number 4, main innovations and 4 dimensions of value underpinning those innovations. Number 5, main focus areas of adoption. Number 6, scalability and decentralization. Number 7, exchange listings. And number 8, partnerships. So let's go ahead and explore Solana along all these 8 key dimensions. So by looking at the team, I won't be wrong if I say that it is one of the strongest teams with diverse competences in the area of blockchain technology, ICT, business strategy, and business development. And the synergies which they have developed together truly reflect not only in the 8 radical innovations which they have forged, but also the vision in terms of the 4 key areas spanned by their value proposition. And I'm really confident to state that it is a strong and committed team which is dedicated to create an enormous impact. So the team wants Solana to be applicable in use cases where the robustness in terms of transaction volume and interoperability with Ethereum DeFi dApps is vital. And the commitment of the team can be gauged from the fact that together they have created the world's fastest blockchain protocol, which provides interoperability with Ethereum dApps seamlessly via Serum. Therefore, we conclude that the team of Solana is really top-notch and well-balanced. And now we look at the second dimension, which is the social media presence and presence across different platforms over the internet, which is fundamentally important for the success of any blockchain project. So over here we can see that their Telegram group has 70,689 members. Their Discord channel has 7,900 members. They have over 92,000 followers on Twitter. And also they have good presence across other platforms on the internet. Having over 70,000 followers on Telegram is a big achievement for a project that is relatively new. And we have seen that Solana has a very strong presence across different social media platforms. Therefore, by looking at all these numbers, I am confident to state that Solana does really well along the dimension of social media presence. And now we look at the third dimension, which is the problem solved. The information presented in the videos which I upload is time sensitive. So before we go ahead, subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications bell and select the option all so that you can get the notifications of the upcoming videos in time and maximize your gains. So the second generation blockchains add conditions to the transactions, which the first generation blockchains were not capable of doing. So they do that via smart contracts, but the problem is that they are not fit for the mainstream adoption of blockchain technology. For example, Visa network processed 1,667 transactions per second on average in 2016. That is 5 years back. Likewise, during the same year in 2016, PayPal handled 6.1 billion transactions, which amount to 193 transactions per second on average in 2016. Therefore, it is clear that such transaction volumes must be handled by dApps, which are made on the top of smart contract platforms, in order to make the adoption of blockchain technology a reality across different industrial segments. Now let's compare these transaction volumes to the transactions which can be handled by the first and second generation blockchains. So Bitcoin, which is the most prominent first generation blockchain, can only handle 3 to 4 transactions per second. So we can say that Bitcoin is not fit for the mass adoption of blockchain technology across various industrial segments. Likewise, Ethereum is the most prominent second generation blockchain, and it has a transaction speed of only 20 transactions per second, which makes it unfit for many use cases across different industries. Once again, even though it adds conditions to the transactions, but when it comes to mass adoption, it is clear that Ethereum is not going to help us in realizing the goal of mass adoption of blockchain technology. Therefore, it is clear that first and second generation blockchains are not capable of creating massive impact by serving billions of people globally while mitigating the shortcomings of centralized services, due to the benefits of blockchain technology such as decentralization and disintermediation, etc. Number 4, key innovations and the dimensions of value proposition underpinning those innovations. So it is a big achievement that in a relatively short amount of time, the Solana team has created those 8 key innovations which will help them realize the 3 main dimensions of value propositions. Actually, there is a 4th dimension also, which is interoperability, and that is realized via Serum. And Serum was created on the top of Solana, and it provides seamless interoperability with the Ethereum dApps. But Serum has not been mentioned on this website because it is a separate project of its own. So as far as the scalability is concerned, Solana is the fastest blockchain in the space currently, and the scalability solution is not a layer 2 solution in case of Solana, but it is a layer 1 solution, which makes it incredibly fast. Also in case of Solana, the transaction costs are incredibly low. And this is one of the key advantages of Solana over Polkadot, which uses parachains and parathreads, which are essentially independent blockchains which can execute transactions independently and are also interoperable with each other. But that makes the architecture very complicated, and when each shard takes the form of its own blockchain, it makes the interaction between dApps quite difficult. The 4th key dimension of value proposition, which is interoperability, that is provided by Serum, which is not mentioned over here due to the reason that I just mentioned, meaning it is a project of its own, but it provides full interoperability with Ethereum dApps, and hence makes Solana capable of leveraging the network effect of Ethereum and its first mover advantages. Therefore, the aforementioned information reflects focus and solid vision, as well as a well thought of role which differentiates Solana in the crowded space of smart contract blockchain platforms. Now let's have a look at the main focus areas of adoption. Solana will make the adoption of blockchain technology in various industrial segments a reality by making it easier to create services which are created with an aim of global adoption and global impact, services where scalability must be ensured, services which fulfill a global need where transaction volumes are of much higher magnitude. Also, any services where robustness is the key to address a market which is new but growing at a very fast rate. Now let's have a look at some of the examples. So these applications will include, for example, creation of blockchain-based, decentralized, secure, and scalable global payment networks. And those payment networks must challenge and even weed out the outdated financial services. Also, the creation of blockchain-based, decentralized marketplaces, which will challenge the authority and dominance of giants like Amazon. Furthermore, blockchain-based next-generation prediction markets. Also, next generation decentralized exchanges where we don't have to pay huge gas fee. Therefore, the main focus areas of adoption show that Solana is going to create a huge impact across various industries and will transform many services which are inefficient and based on outdated infrastructure. And that will forge a decentralized future which we all in the blockchain industry want. And now let's have a look at the 6th dimension, which is scalability and interoperability. So optimization was induced in layer 1 and not in layer 2, and that means embedding the aspect of scalability in the very core of architecture. The team was able to do that by merging the ideas of optimization from various diverse industry verticals due to the diverse background of the team. So nowadays, many blockchains are solving scalability issue by sharding, which is splitting validation across several blockchains into smaller pieces. For example, Polkadot does exactly that. And when each shard takes the form of its own blockchain, it makes the dApps interaction amongst each other difficult. So in a way, the problem is actually transferred. Therefore, Solana takes a different approach. So the whole idea is, instead of limiting a blockchain by the number of participants and the resultant transaction volume, the horizontal scaling is induced and the power of hardware, which increases exponentially, is leveraged. Now, since the computational power increases exponentially, therefore leveraging that for scalability means that it will outperform the increase in number of transactions for the use cases that are served. So just to let you know, Solana can currently handle 60,000 transactions per second and it has 130 nodes in its network. Now let's have a look at decentralization. So one can actually say that 130 nodes are not enough for decentralization. And I was actually listening to one of the interviews of the CEO of Solana, and he gave a very interesting answer. And he said that the top 3 miners of Ethereum have more than half the hash power. So looking from the perspective of the distribution of hash power in Ethereum, we can say that it is way less decentralized than Solana. So it simply means that no matter how many copies of the ledger we have on the nodes in the Ethereum network, they do not add anything to the security of the network because only 3 mining pools can break all their assumptions about security. So the copies of the ledger become meaningless when just 3 entities can come together and take the Ethereum network to the grave. And me being a blockchain expert was really impressed by these answers because I really like people who look at things in a much wider context and are not religiously attached to certain blockchains or certain technologies, but think pragmatically and realistically. And now the 7th dimension, which is the exchange listings. So we can see that Solana is listed on all the major exchanges, which I call tier 1 exchanges like Binance, OKEX, and Huobi Global. Also, we can see that the volume is also quite good, at least the top 10 trading pairs. Therefore, if one wants to sell Solana coins when the price goes parabolic, one can simply sell them in small chunks and take profits. And if a person wants to accumulate Solana coins for the long run, one can just simply go to any of those exchanges and buy them in small chunks in order to dollar cost average. Therefore, neither is exchange listing a problem because it is already on tier 1 exchanges, and neither is liquidity. And now we look at the 8th key dimension, which is partnerships. So here we can see that Solana has partnerships with a lot of key players in the blockchain space. For example, Crypto.com, Band Protocol, Chainlink. Now, Band Protocol and Chainlink are very interesting because these are oracles. And they essentially fetch the real world data, which is off-chain data, and makes them available to the smart contracts of the dApps. And in this way, helps the dApps to address several use cases which won't be possible without these oracles. Then they have a partnership with Binance, Huobi, and also one very interesting partnership is with Civic. So Civic has partnered with Solana to integrate their decentralized identity solution, which is huge. Furthermore, they have a partnership with Ledger, so we can store Solana coins securely on Ledger, which is a hardware wallet, and the list goes on and on. So they have a lot of good partnerships which are extremely important for the long-term impact of a blockchain project. Therefore, I firmly believe that Solana is going to collaborate with these key actors and co-create a lot of value in the form of new services and applications which will enhance the blockchain adoption across various industries and in various contexts. Therefore, the team of Solana has been really active in forging all these key partnerships which will help them create an enormous impact in the long run. And now the most important part of the video, which is the price prediction, and for which we all have been waiting. So Solana has two key advantages over Polkadot. Number one, in terms of interoperability. So the interoperability in case of Solana is provided by Serum, on which I will do a separate video, but basically it is a non-invasive interoperability solution, and it provides seamless interoperability with the Ethereum dApps. Whereas in case of Polkadot, the interoperability solution is invasive, due to which the security can sometimes be compromised. Therefore, I grade Solana higher than Polkadot in terms of interoperability. Now, as far as scalability is concerned or transaction speeds is concerned, again, Solana has a key advantage over Polkadot because Polkadot provides a layer 2 solution to increase the transaction speeds. But as I mentioned before, it comes at a price. But in case of Solana, the solution sits in layer 1, which makes it much faster and applicable in various use cases where Polkadot might not be applicable. And that is why Solana is the fastest blockchain in the whole of the blockchain space. So far, only Cartier chain provides a non-invasive interoperability solution, and also Vaughn chain, but Vaughn chain is centralized by vision and by design, whereas Cartier chain is decentralized and it also has a non-invasive interoperability solution which is called a dual node solution. But once again, Solana is then much faster than Cartier chain, so I will grade it higher than Cartier chain also. So far, apart from Solana, only Cartier chain and Vaughn chain have non-invasive interoperability solutions. Now, Cartier chain is decentralized, but Vaughn chain is centralized. So it simply means that Solana and Cartier chain are the only two blockchains which have non-invasive interoperability solutions and which are also decentralized. Therefore, in every respect, Solana is superior than Polkadot. So Solana is currently sitting at number 33 as far as the overall market cap is concerned, which is 2.7 billion US dollars. And as we can see that Polkadot is currently sitting at number 5 with a $34 billion market cap. And I firmly believe that as far as fundamentals are concerned, Solana is way superior than Polkadot. And for it to achieve a market cap of Polkadot, it has to increase its market cap by 12 times, which simply means that its coin price will increase 12 times, which will take the SOL, which is Solana's coin, to 120 US dollars. Therefore, it simply means that it can give the investors a very good return for their investment. And if the price of Bitcoin reaches 100 or 150 US dollars, which is predicted by most of the prominent influencers and blockchain experts, I firmly believe that not only 120 US dollars per SOL coin is achievable, but even a $200 price can be achieved. So it all depends on how long the bull market actually lasts. If the bull market lasts for 4 or 5 more months, and if the Bitcoin price reaches 150 or 100 US dollars, then we can see the price of Sol coin well over 100 US dollars. So that is my price prediction. I hope that you liked the content in this video. Thank you very much for watching my video. I really appreciate that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.